Well, hello, hello, hello. This is I'm Right, I'm Right. The show will be starting in just a few moments, like maybe in a minute. So if you're listening to this on replay, you can fast forward past this minute. Otherwise, we're going to be with you in a moment. And we see that A is already in the audience, so hi to you. So we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Well, greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm Right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
And we're here. We're back.
We are here. We're back. We're doing another show. Isn't this amazing?
Goes by quickly sometimes.
Yes, I mean, with show after show after show after show after show after show after show. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. At show.
Yes. That's how it goes. Wow, we have such a large audience today. It's incredible. Oh my gosh.
Our biggest one
yet. Well, welcome everyone that's here and everyone that's going to listen to this in replay. If you're listening to this in replay, welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Yes, and if you watch us on YouTube, welcome there as well.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. How many people do we get on YouTube? I have no idea.
I don't pay attention to numbers.
Okay. No, I wasn't counting numbers, but I just never checked.
I know some people consistently watch it there, though.
Okay. Well, sorry, people on YouTube. I'm glad you're here. If you're here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just cool.
That is.
All right.
Well, I think we should just go right into our segment.
Get into the show.
Yes.
Into the show.
Yes. You want to do a segment open?
Sure, Jill. Sure. Just, are you ready?
I'm ready. Part of a segment.
Stand by your
I'm ahead of
stance.
This is a segment called Stand By Your Stance.
Right. And tonight we're talking about, do you know your loved one or your partner better than they know themselves?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think you do. That's why I have a stance and you have a stance.
I know you better, way better than you know yourself. Absolutely. It's no doubt.
That's not true. It's just not true.
It is true. Can you prove it's not true?
Can you prove that it is?
Yes.
Well, go for it.
Well, sometimes you have a work situation. I see you. Sometimes you have work situations, and I am able to tell you, Jill, this is frustrating you. You need to do something. And you might say, no, it's not. I'm good. But it actually is frustrating you. And I know it before you admit it.
But that doesn't mean you know me better than I know myself.
Oh, it does. It does.
It
It does.
actually
I
doesn't.
know that you like to take on new projects. New
Used to.
projects.
Used to. That is so past
And
tense.
I know you, oh, look, I know you like to make lists of the things that you're going to do. And nothing's wrong with that, but you'll make a list of all the instruments you're going to take up and play, and then I may buy that instrument for you, and you still haven't learned how to play it or have even touched that particular instrument.
I've touched it.
So I know that, I can buy you an instrument, and the chances are it's not going to get used.
Well, first of all, that was only one instrument that you've bought me. Second of all, life happens. Sometimes I have plans, especially in the past. Again, I think that's past tense. I still haven't touched that instrument very often. But
Okay.
as I get better at saying no,
Mm-hmm. No,
I
no,
get better at saying no to
no
people when
to
they
yourself.
no to other people.
What about to yourself?
Well, I do that too, because I say, no, Jill, don't do a project just because you can. Really
Mhm.
think it through.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
really think of
Okay.
the time it's going to take me
Yeah, I got you.
and whether it's something that I actually
Yeah, but
enjoy
I
doing.
do know
So
you
I've
better
gotten
than you know
so I've gotten
yourself.
better at doing that.
Yeah.
And as I get I actually feel as big as my to-do list is, I actually feel that it's getting smaller so that I can put more things like learning how to play an instrument I've never played
Yeah.
before back on the list.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I
And by the
got you.
way, I had that instrument on my list when I didn't have a job. So I thought, oh, well, that'll be a wonderful way to spend my time.
And I know that when you cook something, I know that it's going to be like crazy extravagant, and it's going to take you 3 times longer than what you would think it would take.
Again, past tense, because since I've been on this weight loss journey, I'm making I'm cooking more, and I'm making simpler dishes because that's what the plan calls for.
That's cool.
So I'm not
I
spending
just
as much
I
time
just know
doing that.
you're going to do things. I know that you asked for a little sports car.
And I still like the sports car
Yes. And I said,
when I do
Jill,
leave the house.
I said to you, Jill, are you going to take care of your little sports car? Of course, of course. Are you going to wash it? Yeah, I'm going to take it to the fancy car wash. That's what I'm
And
going to do.
I did once, but then
Uh,
something happened that made me afraid to go back.
So
So I don't think you could hold that one against me.
no, here's the deal. I knew beforehand that you had never washed that car. I knew you wouldn't. I wash that car all the time. You do not wash that car.
It's true.
I knew because I
don't-
know you. It's okay. That's why I don't get upset, because it's okay. I
Are
know.
you sure you're not upset?
I'm
'Cause
not
you-
upset. I know you're going to do that. I know that you are not going to wash the car that you said you were going to wash. That's not your
Well-
thing. That's not your thing.
Well,
but
you know,
it's
I
okay.
still think like the average car wash, I still think can be a crime scene.
Okay,
And
okay. But
and
you
the
can wash a
fancy
car
one,
at home.
well, yeah, you can, but you have to go
They have
outside to do that.
Yes, yes, you do. Hey, well, let's stop real quick because we have such a large audience tonight. I think we need to recognize them, Jill.
I think so. Hi, Denise, and hi, Lolly. Welcome
Hi,
to the
Lolly.
show.
It's so good to see you, Lolly. It's good to meet you. I am so happy that you're here, and
I
you
am
too,
too.
Denise.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Our audience, like, they play hooky on us tonight, but it's okay because Jill and I really love just talking to each other, so it's
Yeah,
good.
this is a
It's all right.
regular day,
So
a
do you,
regular night for
yes.
us.
So do you want me to continue with this?
Well, so
I
far, I
know.
don't think you've proven your point because a lot of what you said either isn't
That was
is
before, right? That
it's
was
past tense. Well,
before.
the car
Yeah.
isn't, but like I said, like I have to
but
go outside to wash it, and I don't go
yes.
outside very often.
People usually
And
wash their cars
and
outside of the house
and at the
instead of
regular
inside the
and
house.
at the regular car wash, I still think they're crime scenes. So
Okay.
so yeah.
All right.
So in hindsight, I probably never should have said, "Yeah, I'll wash the car." But see, I don't think you knew me better than me. I think you. I think I should have admitted that no, I'm never going to wash the car.
Maybe you should have, but I knew you weren't going to admit that you weren't going to wash the car. So it's all good. That's why it doesn't bother me any. It's time to wash the car. I wash the car.
Then
So
why'd you even ask? Sometimes it's
it's
the way you ask the
it's
question
the
that I feel the pressure to say, "Well, okay, yes, I'll do it."
but you don't. You don't. So it's okay, Jill, if I know you better than you know yourself.
I
It's
don't
all
think you
right.
do. I really don't think you do.
It's all right.
I'm
It's
glad that
really
you know me,
okay.
but I don't think you know me better than I know myself.
Yeah, I do.
And I
Yeah,
actually
I
don't
for
think
real
I know
do.
you better than you know yourself. Although I can predict, like you say, I'm always steps ahead of you, and I think
Yes,
that's
that's because you're
indicative.
smart.
I think that's indicative of I know what you're gonna do
That's
before you know
no,
you're gonna do
that's
it.
because you know you're smarter than me.
No, I don't ever
That's
say I'm
what
smarter than you.
you don't say it, but you know it. You know
No,
it. It's okay.
I disagree with that statement.
Okay, all right.
I think we should
We
say
should.
hi to Giselle too. Hi,
Hi,
Giselle.
Giselle. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to
Good to see you.
see
So, did you just say, did I hear you correct that you said you don't think you know me better than
That
I
is,
know myself?
yes,
Is that
that's
what
what I
you?
said. I said I know you very well, and I can predict things that you're going to do, even if you say you're not going to do it. I can predict. I can predict what you're going
Yeah.
to do. But I don't think I think you know yourself as I think you know yourself better than I know you.
Well, I'll agree with you on that, but the only reason I do agree with you on that is because my brain is like this. it's it's hard to keep track of what I'm going to
So
say or do next because my brain is just all
so
woo.
so except for tonight when I actually wasn't worried, like I don't know, last 2 or 3 weeks
Worried about what?
that you would disappear and get distracted right before the show and forget to come back because we have a show.
No, I came back.
So I knew. So every time you have come back, but there have been times where if I hadn't said, "Tony, what are you doing?" that you're like, "Oh, we have a show," because you got distracted. So I can predict that
all
things will distract you.
I had set up all the equipment already. Everything was ready to go.
But
I
minutes
just
before
got
the show, you got distracted, and I can predict that will
I
happen to
got
you.
I
Tonight, for some reason, I wasn't worried about it, even though you
yeah,
came
because
and sat down
I
only
said I'm
minutes
gonna
before.
grab a bite to eat before we do the show, and that's what I did, and
And
came right back.
you've done that in the past, and then you would go upstairs, and you're just like do 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 before the show, and like,
Yeah,
oh, I need to
but you know,
get on the
Jill,
set.
you're talking like I'm a person that's late to things.
You're not late. You're
On the
easily
but
distracted.
on the contrary, even if I
I'm
get
not saying that you're late. I'm saying you're
well,
easily distracted.
but here's
You
the
can just walk
point.
by your drum set and not be thinking about it, and you see a drum set and like, oh, a drum set. And it doesn't matter what else is happening in the house or what someone else is doing in the house at the time. That's what you do. So I can predict that little
You
things will get you distracted.
no, that's
When you
no,
say
no,
you're
no, no,
gonna,
no, no, no,
come
no.
to the bedroom at a certain time, and it might be hour and a half, 2 hours later. I can predict, depending on what it is that you say you're gonna do beforehand, I can predict it's going to be much longer
Well,
than you
yes.
think it's going to be.
Here's the thing, and I will tell the audience this, and so they can predict what I'm going to do. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm a very creative person. Okay, I write poetry. I create art out of reclaimed objects and all of that. And if I get involved in any of those things I really love to do, yeah, I'll get distracted because I'm in a zone. I'm in a different place. So, yes. So if I say, "Oh, Jill, I'll come to bed, in 20 minutes." But I go into the office and I start working on a poem or revising a poem or something else, I will get distracted and not
But you
come
say
back to
that
when I
like your
say.
creativity is the reason that you get distracted, and that that's not true. I'm a creative person too. And
I,
I will tell you, like I did last night,
well,
hey, I'm gonna go write. And I did write longer than I anticipated that I would because I thought
yeah,
I was tired. But we as creative people, we know we get energized when we're
yeah.
being creative. So it wasn't that I was distracted. It's just that I just kept going.
Okay, that's what I do.
But that's not the reason you get distracted.
That's what I
That's
do.
not the reason you
That
get
is the
distracted.
reason I get.
No,
That's what I
no,
do. I
that
do the
is
same
that is
thing
not
that
the
you
reason
do.
you get distracted.
Well, look, audience, all of you, and Lolly, you don't know me that well. I don't think you've been in this show before. However, I've always already divulged many things about myself that my brain is like, I got all kinds of stuff going in my brain all the time. It goes this way, it goes that way, it goes that way, and it goes all over the place. So we know this about me. We know it. So everybody knows this about me now, Jill. So it's not like you know something about me that can predict what I'm going to do more so than anyone else. Now they can all just, oh, Tony, yeah, no telling he which way he might go.
I didn't
But
say
I'm never
that.
late. It's very rare that I'm ever late. So I'm not so distracted that I become late. I may get there a minute before. I might get there exactly on the time, but I'm not late.
Well, it
And
depends.
you can predict
If
that too, because I'm never late.
it depends because you're late to come to the bedroom, but you're not late going to an event. And you have me to thank for that because
Uh,
I'm like, hey, we're supposed to be going to the event.
I wouldn't have been late to the event. We wouldn't have gotten there
That's what I'm saying. You're not
a
late
half
going
hour
to an event.
early or
You're
an
not
hour
listening.
early.
That's not what I said. I said you're late coming to our bedroom, but you're not late going to events.
I'm not late coming to our bedroom. There's no designated time to
If you said
be
that you're going to be
in the
there,
bed.
remember I hear things and I remember that you said it. So
Yeah.
if you said I'll be there in 20 minutes,
Yeah,
you're
but
not there in 20 minutes. You're there
already
in 2 hours.
already you know. See, you do know me. You should. So you do know me. You do
I
know
didn't say
that
I don't
if
know you,
yes,
sweetheart.
but
That's not what I said.
but
I
see,
said
here's
I
the
know
thing.
you, but probably
The
not
thing
better
is,
than yourself.
yeah, I know, but
But maybe I do because you're saying I'm saying things that I didn't say.
you said those things.
No, I really didn't.
She said
I
them.
did not.
Let's hit the replay.
I did not say those
We
things.
don't have replay
Denise says, I'm right, and that's true. I am right on this.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's all good. It's all good.
What is?
It's all good. If you now, I actually do know you better than you know yourself.
I disagree.
I kind of know what you're going to do.
You know me well, which I like that you know me well, but you don't know me
I know
better
what you're
than I know
going to
myself.
do long before you know what you're going to do.
That's not true. That is not true.
I know that every time, this is what I know about you. And I don't mind this, by the way. It's okay with me. I'm actually glad that you do it. But I know that if I misspeak, Jill will correct me immediately.
Not every time.
Immediately. In most cases. And most people that know us know you do that. And it's okay.
But not every time. I
wanna...
actually determine, am I going to say this now, or later, or not at all?
Yeah.
And if I hear you say it enough, then I will correct you. Like when we went through goal and gold.
Well, see, that was a New York thing.
You're the only New York. You're the only person I've ever heard.
Let me tell you.
Not even a New Yorker. You're the only person that I ever heard say gold.
Well, let me
meant gold.
Let me get more specific.
Okay.
People from Brooklyn.
Okay.
If they were born and raised in Brooklyn, they probably say goal instead of gold. Gold, no, the other way around. they probably say gold instead of goal.
But I know other people from Brooklyn, and that's
you don't know the
speak.
people I know. See, my father was a Brooklynite, and he used to say things like gold for gold, and he also said there was no past tense. So like the EDs didn't exist. So if he would say, Tony, is the back door locked? But he would never say locked. He would always say, is the back door locked?
Okay.
And gold was one of them. Everything was a gold.
Okay. Well, I do understand that, many geographic areas have ways of saying things. So, for example, when I went to undergrad in Minnesota, they would say, come with. And I was like, well, what's the rest of the sentence? Come with what? And they're like, do you want to come with? That's what that means. And I'm like, well, why do you say that? But by the time I graduated, I was saying, come with, myself. So I did learn that. So I understand what you're saying. But you were the only person I had ever heard say that. And I waited to correct you on that.
Oh, you waited many years to correct me on that one. And again, I am glad you did, because that's all I knew. I used to.
Denise says we used to make fun of our dad all the time.
we did. He had things that he would say that were really weird, and then I go and pick some of them up. So now I'm really weird.
My grandmother used to say a scared.
A scared for askew?
No.
Oh,
for
I'm afraid.
Afraid and scared. Together, but it was a scared. And so as I learned to speak, I'm like, what? I didn't, and then I finally understood what she was saying. So, but I never picked up on that. I mean, I never spoke like that.
When I moved to Georgia, it took me a long time to figure out what scrimps were. Long time to figure out what scrimps were. Do you know what scrimps are, Jill?
It's shrimp.
Yeah, I didn't know. What? But so yeah, we all have things. Some things, I guess, most of us, except for you,
No,
Um,
I have things, but to your point, you were saying that you know that I'm going to correct you immediately, and that is not true. I wait and I wait, and then I also determine if it's a good time to say it right now or to
yeah,
say it to you later,
yeah.
privately.
Yes, that is true. But I do know that if you don't do it right, then and if I am incorrect with what I'm saying, or especially if there are facts,
Oh,
factual
now
things.
facts I will correct you on immediately because, I was a journalist. I deal with facts,
Yeah, the
so
facts. Yes,
so
yes.
yes, facts I
You
will set you
will
straight immediately. That is
definitely
true.
set
But I
me
know that
straight.
about myself. Just like you family, Denise knows, family knows, I'm the person that will always ask questions.
Of course,
I will always ask questions. And
of
my favorite
course.
question begins with why.
Well, yeah, yeah. Usually, that's why would you do that? Why did they do that?
And
Why?
only in the
Why?
last,
Why?
I don't know,
Why?
year and a half have
Yeah.
I still ask a lot of questions, but I've
Yes.
actually like restrained from doing it as often.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
I've refrained myself, like
Okay.
I've held back. But sometimes it just comes out, and when it comes out, then I may not let it go for a while, and then I get it all out, what
Get
I've
it
been
all out.
holding
Right.
holding on
Right.
to, get it all out, and then
Gotcha.
and then I might be quiet for a while.
Mhm.
Denise says, me too, I say some stuff from dad.
I'm
Like
surprised.
what,
I'm
Denise?
surprised that she admitted that.
But what
Actually,
do you say?
she's not gonna say. She's not gonna say it. She's not gonna say.
See, I ask questions.
Yes, you do ask questions. You do
So I
ask
know that about
questions.
myself.
Okay.
So if anybody says, I know you better than you know yourself because I know you're going to ask questions. Well, that's like a
Well, that's an
duh.
easy one.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody
that's who
knows
I
Jill
am.
is going to ask questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, how about this? Now, this has happened on this show, and it depends what the subject is. But sometimes Jill goes as we are, we're co-host here right now. We're co-host, right? But sometimes,
I know what you're about to
depending
say.
on what I say, I may say something. Doesn't matter what it is. Or we get on a subject. And again, it doesn't matter what the subject is. I know when Jill is going to go into journalism mode, and she will start asking me questions as a journalist. I know when she's going to do that, and she always does, but I never
I don't
call her.
always go in journalism mode.
No, I know when you're going to do it, and then you do it, but then I don't call her on it. I don't say, "Oh, I knew you were going to go into journalism."
When do I do it?
I just said during the show with a certain, the subject can go in a certain direction, and you'll decide it's a good time for me to go into journalist mode on Tony, not one of the guests, on Tony. And it's okay because I know.
Well,
it's
when I
coming,
do,
and I
you know
when she does
what
it.
happens to make me do that, right?
Yeah. I actually do. That's why I know you're going to do it. It's when you. Well, there's a couple of reasons. Actually, it's not just one. Sometimes it's a subject we're on and something that I may be very knowledgeable on, and I'm not answering the question. Let's say an audience member asked me a question and I'm not answering the question the way
That's the number one reason why I would
the
do
way
it.
you felt I should answer the question. But there was a reason why I was answering the question differently.
But in my mind, you didn't
Differently.
answer the question. So
I didn't
started
because
asking questions.
there was something else that I thought the
I
audience
understand.
member needed to know.
I
But
understand
yeah,
that.
so yes, I know when you're gonna do that, and I know that I didn't answer the question, blah blah blah. So you don't let that go. I understand that, and then other times, you'll go into interview mode because there may be something I was saying about any topic, and usually it's when something I'm very knowledgeable about, and I don't cover everything about that topic that you think I should have. So then you go into journalism mode and you'll ask me the questions that will bring out the rest of the story,
That is true.
kind of. So
That's very
yes,
true.
and I know you do that. So
When
and it's good. I mean, when I say I know you better than you know yourself, I think it's more for me than for you, because it makes me know that I know what you're going to do, and I know you're not going to do anything to harm me,
oh
to
no,
bring me down
it's
or
never from
anything out.
a
Yes.
malicious,
So it always comes
angle.
from a good situation. And then if I'm looking out just, let's say, for myself, so I don't get upset about something that doesn't really matter. So we'll go back to washing the car. From the beginning, I knew you weren't going to wash the car. So it's no reason for me to get upset that you don't wash the car. Some people will really get mad and have to go to therapy
Nah.
because their partner doesn't do what they say they were going to do. But I knew you weren't going to do it from the start. So it was good. No problem. It's all good.
I did take it to the fancy car wash once. I did do that
I
once.
don't think it was that car. I know it wasn't
Oh,
that car.
it was just it was because of what happened before we got the car that I wasn't going to take this car.
Yes.
I wasn't going to go back. Period.
Right.
So yes, when we asked
Right.
Denise what words she says she may mispronounce words as well.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. Oh look, there's May.
And-
May the poet. Hi, May
Hey-
the poet.
hey, May.
Woo!
And Denise also says, she's talking about me. She also starts asking when it appears that Tony is not being inclusive, which is very true. I do say that. If I think that you
Yes.
misspeak or exclude someone, I start asking questions
Yeah, and
so that
that's
you can say that that's not what you meant.
Yeah, thank you. That clarify.
Yes.
And it's difficult. It's difficult not to say the wrong thing.
It is.
Yeah, because nowadays you can say the wrong thing just by excluding a section of people that could or should be part of that conversation that I should have included. Here's an example. LGBTQ.
AI plus.
See? You see? So I can't just say LGBTQ anymore. I have to say LGBTQ AI plus.
Well, I do
See?
think the wonderful thing about, we all know I like words, and the wonderful thing about language is that it does evolve to be more inclusive. And so I actually understand when people aren't as current with language and words that are the right thing to say or not the right thing to say. Because in my day job, what I do for a living, it's important that I stay up on it.
Yes. it's very
I have
important,
to
yes.
stay up on it.
Mhm.
So I actually don't blame people for not knowing, but I do like to take the opportunity to make it a teachable moment by asking questions.
Okay, well, teach us.
I just did by saying when you said LGBTQ,
Well, good.
I said AI plus.
Okay, let's delve
A
in
for
deeper.
asexual and intersex. But go ahead.
Okay, so that's cool. So what are we doing when we don't say AI plus? What?
You're
What?
you're leaving out a sector of people who are part of this already marginalized community. So
And
it's not a one size
it,
fits all.
yeah, yeah, I understand, but that's why it's LGBTQ because it is not one size fits all,
Right.
correct?
But many
But
people
there's more.
forget the asexual people and the intersex.
Yes.
So people need to be better informed. But it's like I said, it's evolving. So I know that people aren't always current on it, but in my job I have to be.
Yeah. So now I will be also. Because I don't want to offend anyone. I
Yes,
don't go
no,
around trying to hurt anyone. I love
yes.
everybody.
And many
I don't
people
care.
really don't want to offend people, and but they don't know that they're being offensive or exclusive.
Right.
Many times. May was listening to our discussion about car wash, and she says, "Take the car to the fancy car wash. Get a scent that you like, Jill, for the interior of the car seats. And let Tony take you for a ride in the clean car."
That'll work, May.
That actually happens.
Yes, that will definitely work. That would be cool. I see Really Charlie's in the audience.
Yes, hey,
Hi,
Really
Charlie.
And you and Really Charlie have something coming up. I saw him promote it today.
You promoted that today?
Really Charlie is excellent. And if you need somebody to promote you, talk to Really Charlie. He's excellent at that.
Did he promote being on my show or did he?
April 1st.
Oh, that one. Okay, that's cool because I posted that today also. I scheduled.
What?
That. Can you believe it?
You promoted a show?
It's.
Oh, you mean you scheduled it? That's a very big difference.
I created another graphic. I also put some new text in there about what the show was about. Hey, I'm moving along.
See? Because I know Tony so well, I know that he really hates doing that.
I do.
And but he understands the importance of doing it. But another thing that you've gotten really good at, like I read something that you wrote the other day.
Wait a minute. And May's got me going to Instagram.
That's right.
Thanks, May.
Like, you didn't even know you had an Instagram account until May came along. I kept saying, look at your Instagram. May is sending you stuff.
Okay. Now what you were saying.
I was saying that you really have come along with, like, you used to think that if you wrote something and you wanted me to look at it as an editor, that there would be plenty of things that you would have to fix. And in the past, there was. But the other day when I only found like 2 things, you were like, that's it? Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?
Something was wrong. I'm like, Jill.
Did you really read it? Yeah. But you really only had like 2 things to fix. And little things at that.
They were real little things, but I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised, but I was really surprised. But I've always told Jill the way I learn, because like I said, my head is all over the place. But the way I learn is all you have to do is give me an example of what it's supposed to be, and then I learn from that.
And you did. Yeah, there were very little, because you think you know me so well that you think I'm just gonna chop every single thing up that anybody ever shows me, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I do if it's warranted.
Well,
but if it's not warranted, I'm not going to do that because I don't need to.
Yes, but you are an excellent copy. You are an excellent editor and an excellent copy editor. So,
what's the difference?
Well, editor.
When you say editor versus copy editor.
Well,
for me, it's one and the same.
No, you told me it wasn't. You told me an editor will not only look for grammar, but they'll also look at how the story is written
So
and
does a
whether.
copy editor. I
But
think you're
the
confusing editor
but
with proofreader.
yeah, that's it. No,
Yeah, it is
no,
it.
that's not it.
Proofreaders just look at sentences and periods and things like that. Editors look at everything.
Yeah, that's it. See, she got me straight. See, you she keeps me straight. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It really is.
I try.
It's all right. And but you know what? I believe people should stay with what they're good at, their skills. So I'm not good at that at all. So that's why I always have you look at my stuff. I don't very rarely that I will send anything out that's like real writing without you looking at it first. Because you will always find something, and I expect you to, because that's what you do.
That is what I do for a living. So
That is what you do. And
yes.
now, really, Charlie is like another good example because he does social media like insane. He promotes like everybody, including himself, and he does it very well. He does it very well. So Charlie, I see everything you do. You'll see me put a heart, but not much more than that. A little heart. Yeah.
Oh, so now you know how to do hearts.
Yeah, I do my heart. Ever so often, I can type a comment. Ever so often.
Well, speaking of comments, May wrote a comment. She says, "Well, I'll keep sending you stuff, Tony. Instagram is proficient for me to send stuff. I'm on Facebook, but I have musicians and friends for decades on Instagram. Instagram is for my new limelight, and I use it. I can wait for a response."
Yeah, because I was just going to say that. It might be a day or two before you hear back from me.
Yeah.
I tend only to look. Well, now, check this out. I look at it once a day now, where I used to look at it maybe once a month. So
It's probably longer than that.
I'm doing good.
Like once a quarter.
I'm doing good.
You are.
Like
you
sometimes
are.
I forget I even have Instagram.
Like the other day, he told me that someone I usually email, but we were on an email together, sent us an email, and I was like, "You noticed before I did?" And he's like, "Well, I'm right here." I'm like, "You've been here for weeks." Normally, that's why people would send me emails because he would never notice them till late.
But it depends what email it goes to. There's one email, that's where all the junk email and stuff goes to. And then there's another email, that's where like bills and stuff that's a little bit more important. And then there's another email that's attached to, stuff specifically that I do creatively or whatever. And I hardly ever get anything there. So when I see an email there, I know, I need to look at it.
But the people I'm talking about right now, they've always been sending you emails to that email address, and I'm like, did you see such and such email? Nope.
Yeah,
and by the time I've even mentioned it to you, I've like responded a couple of times.
Yeah, but
you're much better now because you were like, you noticed it twice before I ever saw it.
Here's what I know. I know that most people that send us both emails know that they're really sending it to you, and they just include me as a courtesy. Okay. And I'm all right with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. Cause everybody, if you send me an email, and I bet you May can attest to this. If you send me an email, you send me any post, I'm one of those people that just gives a quick response. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Keep up the good work. Everything is great. That's me.
That's not me.
I'm not oh no, I can't believe I'm getting ready to say this. I'm not a man of many words.
That's
I
funny.
can't believe just said that. But I am except on, you know,
In email.
yeah, except the email.
Whereas
It's not my best means of communication.
that is true.
And
That
because,
is true. But you've gotten better.
I will say the wrong thing or by accident or leave a word out or something like that, cuz I might be trying to say, "Oh, that was the best thing ever that you did." And I might say, "That wasn't the best thing ever." Who knows? Don't know why. Don't know why. If you'll notice people that email me and all that, or text me, even text me, I'm more likely to answer a text
That is true.
than an email or Instagram or any of that stuff. But they know I'll type something and then I'll have to type something else that says, "Oh, that was a typo," and then I'll type something else. And then I say, "Oh, that other one was a typo." Then I'll type something else and I'll say, "Oh, that was a typo too." So that's not my best means of communication. So I try not to do it too much because, that's how it is. I can't help it.
Okay.
Well, I
guess
try to help it.
I
I
guess
try to
I
help it,
understand
but
that.
I keep doing those types of boo boos. So I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or
Well, May
anything.
has written more comments. When you were talking about you'll check Instagram or whatever once a day. She says once a day. That's control. Heck, I'm on all of it. If not working before work, after work, is this a sign of addiction? Scratches her head. Me all the time, on and off work. Once a week on it, I might need a counselor. And then she also says, Tony, if you leave a word out, it's cool. I'm a New Yorker. We get the message in all missing communication.
All right, all right. May, I didn't know you were from New York originally. Did I know that? I don't think I knew
I
that.
don't think you knew that. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
I
Me
wanted
too.
to also this now talk about distractions.
Yeah.
This is totally off topic.
Okay. I'm good with that.
But Giselle, your picture that you have on your little icon is
She
beautiful.
has
That's a
one
beautiful
now.
picture.
Oh, wait, I want to see.
You just passed it. It's where your thumb
That
is.
must not be her.
It's in green.
That
She has
must-
on
That
green.
must not be her. Let's
It's
see.
beautiful.
I
So
have
I
to
just
make
want to
sure.
point that out.
I'm trying to see
You're trying to make sure it's her?
I'm trying to see the larger image.
Oh, okay. Isn't that a beautiful
Ah.
picture?
Yes, it is a beautiful picture. Thanks, May. Look, I'm saying May. See, this is why I don't text. Thanks, Giselle.
Yeah, because they'll probably get a text. They'll probably call you the wrong name. But you do
And-
that in person too, though.
That's right.
I've been called your daughter's names,
kids'
and
wrong names.
they called my
everything.
name. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. And Giselle, I did check this out. I contacted Jill's daughter on Instagram.
got it wrong.
I contacted Giselle's daughter. See, this is what I do. I contacted and my phone is freezing up. I contacted Giselle's daughter
On Instagram.
on Instagram
Wow.
twice.
But that's because May taught you that.
Twice.
May taught you that.
Twice. I mean, I found her. I sent her a message, and all of that. So yeah,
You called her by her right name.
yeah, because it's right there on Instagram.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I might have called her Erica or Aaliyah or
May says you can't tell by her accent that she's from New York. Okay, I'll have to use the other voice to clear up the New York. I'm from Yonkers, New York.
Oh, you're from Yonkers. Yeah, I'm from Hempstead, Long Island. Ugh. Try not to go back there. Oh. I lived there for 22 years. Don't want to go back. I go back for funerals.
Well, I actually don't go back to my hometown either, but it's not because I don't like it. But I do go to my home state
Yeah, you do. You do.
in the area where I grew up.
Now, I'll go back to New York where my sister was living for a while in Freeport. She lived on the other side of the tracks, and I lived on the other side of the tracks. But she used to live on the other side of the tracks, but then she moved to the other side of the tracks. It was like going to Oz. It was like leaving the flying monkeys and then going to Oz. Where the big castle was and everything. Completely different.
The first time I ever saw Wizard of Oz, it scared the daylights out of me. I didn't like the wizard. I didn't like the monkeys. I didn't like the witch. It was a scary movie to me as a
Well,
child.
it's funny. We never discussed this before, but I had a recurring nightmare.
That you're in a tornado?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just joking when I said
Serious.
that.
You know me better than I know myself,
Denise says,
Jill.
you stupid.
It's true. She knows it's true too. She moved to the other side of the tracks and it was like Oz. It was beautiful. It was just completely different than where we grew up. It was like, I don't know, 5 miles away maybe. It's really close. It was close enough for me because I used to work where my sister lived, and I would ride my bike to work, so it wasn't that far. So
Well, I love where she lives now.
me too. Me too. Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. I do.
Well,
I do. I
uh-oh.
do. We're
I'm
having
having technical.
slow
No, it's like pulling up things
gadgets.
I didn't ask it to.
Well, quit pressing buttons you didn't want.
Well, I'm trying
And
to
it'll
see.
be
Somebody said something. I'm trying to see.
I can look over here. All the only actually mine is
See?
acting weird
See,
too.
it's doing weird stuff.
Well, if anyone sent another comment,
I think it's Charlie. Hang on, I'm pulling it up.
oh now I can get it up.
He said, LOL.
Ah. Ha ha.
Well, does anyone want to talk besides us?
Anyway, yes. Comment anything where we can hear your voice. You don't have to get on camera. Just say something so we know our
can I go
audience
back
is
to not being on
real.
camera?
No. No. For those of you that weren't here before,
They did not do what you said they did. They did not. I was
Lolly, let me tell you, Lolly. We've been doing our show together like this ever since it started on Fireside. It's always two of us in the shot. And in our podcast that we did, long before this, but we are always, it's I'm right. You always heard, and both of us on our regular podcast. And here you always saw the both of us. But this one day, Jill wasn't feeling well. She just didn't want to be on camera. So I said, okay. But she said she'll still be on the show, but not on camera. And this is the truth, because I know really Charlie was here. And when people didn't see Jill, they turned on me.
They did not.
They
just gave you a hard time because they could.
But they could hear you, but that wasn't good enough. They turned, everybody just came at me every mile.
They did not.
We don't want to see you. We want to see Jill. Where's Jill? Where's Jill? But she's right here. She's sitting straight across from me. We want to see her. We can't see her. Boy, they gave me hell.
They did,
but
not.
it's okay.
They did
I have
mess
a thick
with
skin.
you, but it was because they
You
thought
weren't. You weren't on camera.
No, it was because they thought it would be fun and funny.
Yeah, at my expense.
So I'm
It was
sure
funny.
if you ever
It
decided to be
was.
off camera and I'm being shown, that they would probably mess with me too.
No, they wouldn't even recognize that I wasn't there.
That's not true.
Wouldn't
That's not
recognize
true.
it. You could probably just like put a poster of me or a picture, and that would be good. You know, they heard my voice, they wouldn't notice that I wasn't there.
That's not true.
It probably is,
That's
but
not
check
unless
this
it's
out.
a really good cardboard cut out. Because did you hear the story about? Well, actually, it's somebody I know. They were at a conference, but they went into a store, and there was a full body. What he later learned was he thought he saw a full, a police officer who was a woman, and he said she looked like she was staring right at him. So, he gave her the nod, and she didn't move. And he was like, oh, she's not even going to speak? Not even going to speak like that? And he had a real attitude that she's looking right at him and not speaking. So he had
This
to
is a
go
true
past.
story?
This is a true story. It just happened last week. So as he was leaving the store, he had to walk by her. So he's like, well, I'm going to tell her something when I walk by her. And that's when he realized it was actually a cardboard cutout.
All right. And how much did you say he drank before he came in there?
Nothing. But it looked so real. And it was like 3-dimensional and everything.
I thought you were going to tell me the cardboard cutout arrested him. That's what I thought you were going to tell me.
No, that would have been funny.
That's what I thought. I don't know. So
anyway, we can have a cardboard cutout. We should have it of both of us and see if anybody notices.
Look, my feelings didn't get hurt when everybody just went wild when Jill wasn't on camera. And that didn't hurt me. I thought it was quite funny, actually, that they came at me that way. Like I said, I have a thick skin, so it's okay. But I think my feelings really would be hurt if they didn't notice I wasn't there. My feelings would be hurt. I would be hurt. Well,
clearly, they didn't mean it. Because you have a show all by yourself, and that doesn't bother anybody.
Because they don't see you. They never saw you on my show, so that's okay.
So they only hear me at times.
If you started being seen on my show,
yeah,
it'd be over for me.
That's not true.
It'd be done for me.
That's not true.
Nobody would want to come to my show anymore unless you were there.
I'm always there.
They can only hear your voice. And then when they do hear your voice, it's like my stock goes up.
Oh, please.
Like,
we should end this show because now you're not making sense.
It's true. They hear your voice. Well, who was it? I was doing my show and then they heard your voice and they were like, wow, you have a real producer.
Oh, no, it was only because I was announcing people before we let them speak. I was announcing to you that they were on the stage.
Yes.
So they thought that was fancy because I announced them.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, we should end the show. It's time.
Well, yeah, we are at about an hour, really. And did we say hello to everyone in the audience, Jill?
I believe we did. Charlie says ratings rising. And May says her other voice will answer any questions.
Any questions? That's real.
Said.
That's really tempting. That's really tempting.
Well, not with a minute and a half to go.
We got a minute. We may start another segment because we found out over the past month or so, it seems like when we get at the hour mark, all of a sudden people start coming into the audience. Like our audience will almost double in size.
I still think it's a mistake. And you know how if a live show is going on and you join the app, it automatically puts you in somebody's show. Other people. So I always think it's a mistake.
Yeah,
and it takes them a moment to figure out that they're not where we're planning to be.
I didn't mean to be in that show. And they're out. We did have that one time. Remember the woman that
Oh,
the
yes.
one that said she saw Jesus 3 times today.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes. I think it was 5.
5 times. She saw Jesus
Yes.
5
I do remember
times. Ah,
her.
that was interesting.
It was interesting
It was very interesting.
because she didn't know how she got on the stage.
All righty. So are we really going to close this show out, Jill?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, it's right at just about the hour. And I thank everyone for being here.
I like
'Cause
how you said that. Say that again.
I thank everyone.
I like that.
That's how I'll end it every day, every episode.
Every episode.
I thank everyone for coming. Everyone. Yeah. We ended up with a decent size
and
audience.
for next time, May's other voice is named Betty.
Betty Boop. I like Betty Boop.
And Betty accepts our challenge. So next time,
I had a crush on Baby Boop.
she's adorable, but she says she's a cracker though.
Oh, okay. I love everyone. I love everyone.
I love everyone too. I really do. So thank you all for being here. You could have been anywhere on a Wednesday night, but you
came here.
Came with us. So thank you.
Thank you. You. They all made sure that we weren't audience-less.
Right.
Audience-less.
Right.
That's messed up.
Right.
Audience-less.
And How Was Your Day is next?
Yes.
Or probably right now.
Yeah. I saw Dave and Sam came in for a few minutes. But yeah, we'll see if I can get into their show after we shut this down. So anyway, we love you all.
We love you all. And Tony has a show on Saturday with a guest.
I do have a show on Saturday, and really Charlie is going to be the guest.
No, he's not.
Oh no, not really Charlie. I got too many shows. A young woman named Aaliyah.
Yes.
And she is
Charlie
an artist,
is later.
and she is going to paint
While
during
she talks.
the show.
And it's going to be exciting because she's a phenomenal painter.
Yeah, she sure is. All right. Well, we're about out of time, Jill.
Yes,
So
we are.
let's go. Did you want to thank anybody for the music or anything or any of that
thanks
stuff?
to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music you're listening to now. And above all, thank you, audience. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, Jill, you have to say that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. And truly, we really do love you all.
Really do.
Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us for this time. And hopefully we'll see you next weekend. Or next week, not weekend.
Well, actually, Saturday. Hopefully, he'll see you
if
Saturday.
come to
But
that.
we'll see you next
Poetry
week.
is not everybody's thing. But it's okay. Love you all.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
And we're going to get rid of video, and the music ran out. So that's
did
how
run
long
out.
we stayed.